Tonight on Our News, a 59-year-old man walks free after being accused of raping his teenage grandniece. Why the jury didn't believe the allegations, straight ahead. Plus,
bi-weekly payments, maternity leave, and an update on a livable wage. Tonight, the Labor Minister gives an important update on these developments.
And as election season heats up, Elizabeth's MP says she's ready to keep serving, crediting what she says are her strong community ties and proven track record for her confidence. Then in Our News at 7:30, a jury has unanimously found a former political candidate guilty of abusing a teenage boy he took into his home. He denies the charges and claims police tampered with evidence. We'll tell you what's next in the case. Our News live at 7 starts right now. Welcome to Our News live at 7. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Kendino Knowles. An outpouring of support for the Bahamas Humane Society just days after thieves broke in and stole over $1,000. Imagine losing to thieves, then days later getting a check that's several times more. Well, that's what happened in this case, and we'll show you who stepped in about 5 minutes. But before we get to that story, we are tracking the tropics as activity churns out in the Atlantic. This as we move into the peak of the hurricane season. Over the weekend, Tropical Storm Dexter formed off the Carolina coast and posed no threats, and forecasters have also been watching two other systems on the radar, including one just off Florida. We're learning of more potential developments in the coming week, and meteorologist Greg Thompson is at the top now with what we're tracking. Greg?
Yeah, thanks, Kendino. It is getting a bit active across the tropics. We're watching a couple of areas in National Hurricane Center, watching one very closely, one to the north of us. National Hurricane Center giving this a low to medium chance of formation, but this system will continue to pull towards the north and east and away from us. There's an area in the Gulf of Mexico that's likely to form. National Hurricane Center watching that one. That will stay in the Gulf. Another one out there in the open Atlantic, that's the one that the National Hurricane Center is watching right now. It has about a medium chance for formation over the next 7 days, so we will watch that, but it will stay towards the northwest and away from us and eventually turn towards the north, should stay there, out there in the open Atlantic. That one below that, that's the one that we will continue to monitor over the next couple of days. Not there yet. There's a strong tropical wave that's coming off of Africa. We'll show that in a short while, but the remnants of Dexter pulling out towards the north and away from us, not really affecting anybody. Then we have that area just to the north of the Bahamas off the Carolinas, a low to medium chance for formation. That will stay well to the north of us, and of course the area in the Gulf of Mexico, that will stay to the west of us. Area that National Hurricane Center watching out there in the open Atlantic, very small system, but has a medium chance for formation. It will stay out there in the open Atlantic and eventually turn towards the north and move away from most landfall. But that's a system that we continue to monitor over the next several days. Of course, we are approaching the peak of the hurricane season, so we're urging you to get your hurricane plans together as things are starting to pick up in the tropics. This one will continue to track towards the west. National Hurricane Center will watch this one very closely because most of the models are bringing this towards the west and bringing it closer to most of the islands in the Caribbean as well as here in the Bahamas. So once again, it is time to get your hurricane plans together. We are approaching the peak of the season. That's a quick check on the tropics. We'll tell you what's happening locally with the rainfall we've been having today.
All right, thanks so much for that, Greg. And just a reminder that things can quickly change this time of year, even without a direct threat. Now is a good time to make sure your hurricane plans are in place if you haven't already. Things expected to continue to intensify over the next several weeks, as we heard there from Greg. So you want to head over to ournews.bs to find out the latest and watch our TV Storm Navigator if you need a little more help determining your plan. It's available now at Our News YouTube channel. All right, a Supreme Court jury has cleared a 59-year-old man of sexual assault charges involving his 14-year-old grandniece. His name is not being released to protect the identity of the teen, but prosecutors claim the man raped the 14-year-old twice during visits to his home and the family's compound in New Providence back in May 2021. He told the court the allegations were made up, saying the teen was angry after he raised concerns about her being left alone with her mother's current lover. He said he spoke up because the girl had previously accused another man, the husband of her mother's best friend, of raping her. Elizabeth Member of Parliament Jobette Colby Davis says she's confident that she will retain her seat as election season heats up. Davis says she's been busy staying connected with her community and delivering results since defeating Free National Movement incumbent Dr. Dwayne Sands in 2021. Colby Davis, who also served in the Senate from 2017 to 2021, credits her strong ties and consistent engagement with constituents for her continued support and success. And as campaigning intensifies, she says she's preparing with confidence to keep representing Elizabeth in the next term.
Elizabeth is home for me now. It's been a part of my life since I became Member of Parliament and even before then. And so we've built a network within the community. We work on community building exercises. We have a Lizzie Teen group that we do a lot of community service with them and cleanup initiatives. And we also visit a lot of our senior citizens, and we take a nurse with us to do pressure checks and just to check on them. I have been working towards making sure that the persons that entrusted me to be their Member of Parliament see that my work spoke highly and that I am returned.
All right, now the Free National Movement has kicked off with 17 named candidates, and the PLP says their turn is coming soon. Meanwhile, Golden Gates MP Pia Glover-Roll, she's also revealing her intentions. Find out coming up in our news at 7:30. Well, could Bahamians finally be getting a paycheck they can actually live on? And when will public servants see bi-weekly pay fully implemented? The Labour Minister lifting the lid on some of the country's most pressing workplace issues as Parliament heads into the summer break. Joshua Williams caught up with her at a graduation ceremony and got some answers.
Right now, the country's minimum wage is $260 a week. That increase coming in January 2023, the first in a decade. But a University of the Bahamas study shows that's nowhere near enough, estimating a monthly livable wage at $2,625 in New Providence and $3,550 in Grand Bahama. For a family of four, the study says middle-class living would require more than $120,000 a year, well above what most households are bringing home. Labour and Public Service Minister Pia Glover-Roll says government is still working on it.
That is before the National Tripartite Council, which is the government, the employers, and the employee confederations. That discussion is ongoing, being benchmarked around the world. These discussions are actually happening globally. We just came back from the ILO in Geneva, and there's still much talk with many countries around the world.
Still, some are asking, just how long will this take?
We have to look at the sustainability of business for our employers, and there are many factors that play a part in the determination. So I can't say where we are in the process or if they're moving in a sluggish way, but when they report, the reports are that they are working.
There's also movement on bi-weekly pay for public servants, a change government says will improve cash flow for workers.
The Oracle Fusion system, our Cloud Bahamas system, has already been rolled out. The Ministry of Finance is looking for us to begin that process shortly, and that will be communicated to public servants across the public service via circular.
Now, there have also been calls to extend the maternity leave from its current 14 weeks to 16 weeks or perhaps even 18 weeks. Could this be on the table?
Our next step is public consultation. We don't only want to speak in the silos of employee and employer organizations, but we want to hear what the public has to say about it. Maternity leave is something that we're getting good feedback on, positive feedback on across the board. It seems from the stakeholders that is something that everyone thinks is required, it's necessary. Determining that benchmark, we're getting closer to that.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Joshua Williams.
All right, thanks so much for that, Josh. Now to that outpouring of support we told you about at the top. Just days after thieves robbed the Bahamas Humane Society of more than $1,000, Bahamar Foundation stepped in with a big helping hand, donating $7,500 to the nonprofit. You'll remember we told you on Thursday about two burglars who smashed their way into the Chippenham office, making off with cash in the latest of several break-ins there. General Manager Inspector Percy Grant says the gift is proof that even with crime on the rise, corporate partners like Bahamas are willing to step up and support the cause.
Well, that's a great deal for the organization that Corporate Bahamas came to our aid immediately. So that was great at Bahamas. That was really, really stellar for them to do something like that for us, So that has really recouped our loss and, we're able now to continue in doing the work that we've been doing in the Bahamas.
And Grant says the stolen money was set aside for special projects that assist with dog care and other community initiatives. He said the funds from Bahamas, they'll help the society continue those efforts.
That would go a long way, in helping us, not only with the projects that we had that money that we're looking for, but also for our continued welfare in the public, like we do with dog food and, drives and stuff that we've been doing for the public to assist them. So that's going to go a long way.
All right, we've got much more to get to tonight, but for now, it's time for your first look at temperatures. We go back to the Weather Center with meteorologist Greg Thompson. Greg?
Yeah, thanks again, Candino. Welcome back, everybody, for a look at your first look, actually, at weather conditions around the islands and temperatures. 80 degrees, our current temperature outside our studios under mostly cloudy skies, and we do have some light rain out there. Southeast winds at 9 miles per hour, but your feels like temperature, a comfortable 85 degrees is what it feels like on the outside. Current temperatures around the islands. It's 84 in Freeport, 82 in Alistown, Bimini, and in Marsh Harbor, Abaco, also in Governor's Harbor. Great Harbor Key, 83 there. Nickel San Andros, 81 here in the capital, 80. 82s, Kemps Bay, Black Point. Then we pick up 85s, Arthur Sound, Cat Island, Georgetown, Exuma, and in Deadman's Key. Pair of 84s in Cuban Towns, San Salvador, and Port Nelson. And into the southeast Bahamas, 85, Duncantown, Ragged Island, Colonel Hill, Crooked Island, Delectable Bay. 86s, Abrams Bay, Meguana, Providenciales, Tricks, and Caicos Islands. Matthewtown, Inagua, you are the warm spot at 87 degrees. Satellite radar composite, what a mess we had today. Crossing northwest Bahamas, lots of showers and thunderstorms, unsettled weather pattern, all courtesy of a surface trough that's really right across the northwest Bahamas, as well as an upper level disturbance that's moving into the Gulf of Mexico. That will continue to keep us in an unsettled weather pattern, mainly across the northwest Bahamas tonight through tomorrow, so we're looking for some more showers in the forecast during that time frame. That's your first look at weather. Stick with us. Take a look at the tropics and your extended forecast still to come.
Coming up in sports, the Davis Cup team has been flawless so far in Trinidad and Tobago, and I haven't seen that kind of production there since John was at Carnival last time.
Everywhere you turn, our news is there. From Charybdis to Caricom and Chogam, the commendation of a queen, the coronation of a king, the controversies, our culture, in times of conscience and collective grief, connecting the stories of a country coming into its own, from then to now and still to come. Our news is everywhere, always there when it counts.
Every week, one show drives the national conversation. On the Record, we challenge the issues, ask the tough questions, and dig deeper. We bring in the experts, the decision makers, and the voices that matter. Our discussions shape policy, influence change, and inform the public like no other. Join us every Thursday at 8 p.m. and again on Sunday at 8:30 p.m. Catch us streaming live on Facebook or catch up with your favorite episodes on our YouTube channel. The conversations that shape the Bahamas start here, on the Record.
Welcome to Our Sports at 7, presented by 10th year seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. That's John Mark Nutt. Let's do show. Team Bahamas is moving on at the Davis Cup. After 4 wins and 4 ties, the Bahamas has advanced to the promotion playoffs in America's Zone Group 4. They emerged as the top team from Pool B with a final 3-0 win over Panama. In the opening match, Dante Umbrister made it 3 straight singles victories. He took the first set 6-1 before his opponent, Valdez, retired early in the second. Denali Nottage followed with a dominant 6-love win to clinch the tie. In doubles, Captain John Antonis teamed up Nottage and Kofi Bow for a straight sets win, securing the 3-0 sweep.
Travis Munning takes his talents to Spain's top tier. The veteran forward has officially signed with Corvian Granada in the Liga Endesa, Spain's premier professional basketball league. The move marks a major step up for Munnings, who spent last season with Flexicar Fuenlabrada in the second division. He averaged nearly 9 points per game, added 4 rebounds, and shot an impressive 45% from beyond the arc.
Dayton Albury made the first step of what he hopes to be a lasting legacy to build future generations of Bahamian hoopers. The New Mexico guard hosted the first edition of his Ballhead Elite basketball camp at the Kendall Isaacs Gymnasium. Several collegiate and professional players were on hand to facilitate the camp, where dozens of participants went through skill building drills and mentorship. Albury's goal is to create a mobile app where players can track progress after the camp and stay connected all season long. And we wrap it all up with your 10YS Plays of the Week. That'll do it for Our Sports. Stay tuned to Our News at 7:30 for details on these stories and more.
When our news comes back from the break, we turn our spotlight to stories making headlines across the world as Israel says it plans to take control of Gaza City in a bid to defeat Hamas. Plus, U.S. President Donald Trump slams a report of an Epstein strategy dinner as total BS. And Jamaica's leaders clash over progress on Independence Day. We'll tell you the contrasting messages ahead of the country's next election when Our News returns.
The concert is going to be dealing with how life was in the Bahamas in the past, what has changed, and what still remains the same. I'll be taking them down, I hope, not Memory Lane, but Memory Avenue. There's a big area we're going to be covering.
Nassau, get ready for a night you simply won't want to miss. For the first time in over 40 years, experience an evening with Eddie Minutes live at the Amphitheater, Nassau Cruiseport.
Greg Thompson here, and thank you for watching. Be sure to hit that follow button. And if you want to see more content like this, follow all of our news social media pages. And hey, don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss out on the top stories from the team you already trust.
More than 20 years in the making and still growing. Everywhere you turn, Our News is there. From Charybdis to Karakomanchogam, the commendation of a queen, the coronation of a king, the controversies, our culture, in times of conscience and collective grief, connecting the stories of a country coming into its own, from then to now and still to come. Our News is everywhere, always there when it counts.
Every week, one show drives the national conversation. On the Record, we challenge the issues, ask the tough questions, and dig deeper. We bring in the experts, the decision makers, and the voices that matter.
This is Our News. Welcome back. We turn our attention now to stories making headlines across the world. Israel's Security Cabinet has approved a plan to take control of Gaza City as part of a 5-point strategy to defeat Hamas and end the war. The move, confirmed by Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's office, includes disarming Hamas, returning hostages, and setting up a new civil administration. The United Nations and leaders from the United Kingdom, Australia, and Turkey have condemned the decision, warning it risks catastrophic civilian consequences. Critics in Israel say it could endanger the remaining hostages and displace hundreds of thousands more Palestinians. The Israeli military already controls most of Gaza, but nearly all of its 2.1 million people are crammed into the remaining quarter. U.S. President Donald Trump pushing back against reports his administration planned a strategy dinner on the Jeffrey Epstein case, calling the claim total BS. A CNN report alleged the meeting was scheduled at Vice President J.D. Vance's residence. But a Vance spokesman says no such meeting was ever planned. Vance himself dismissed the story as fake news. The Trump administration has faced growing pressure for transparency in its handling of Epstein-related files. Trump has pledged to release them if reelected. But the Justice Department recently stated a rumored Epstein client list doesn't exist.
Look, the whole thing is a hoax. It's put out by the Democrats because we've had the most successful 6 months in the history of our country. And that's just a way of trying to divert attention to something that's total, okay?
Meanwhile, the U.S. is pulling back from mRNA vaccine research, the same technology that helped save millions during COVID-19. Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has shut down 22 federal projects worth $500 million, claiming mRNA vaccines don't stop infection. Top scientists say he's wrong and warn the move could cost lives. One expert calls it a catastrophic era, arguing that mRNA remains vital, especially in future pandemics. Critics say turning away now puts the whole world at risk. And Jamaica's political leaders struck sharply different tones on Independence Day Wednesday. Prime Minister Andrew Holness praised what he called progress under his Jamaica Labour Party, citing a major drop in homicides, better infrastructure, and a growing economy. But opposition leader Mark Golding accused government of presiding over stagnation, poor education outcomes, and institutional decay, warning that the promise of independence is slipping away. Both leaders hinted at looming elections, with Holness urging citizens to help shape the nation's future, and Golding calling for leadership with honesty and integrity. Still to come on our news, today in history, find out interesting facts about the day that was August 8th. Then in our news at 7:30, a one-time political candidate, now a convicted sex offender, found guilty of abusing a teenage boy he took into his home. We've got the disturbing details and what's next straight ahead. And the race is heating up as candidates get ready for next year's general election. The FNM has kicked off with 17 names. The PLP says their turn is coming soon. Why Golden Gates MP Pia Glover-Rolls says she wants to stay in the game and keep making a difference. When our news returns.
Every week, one show drives the national conversation. On the Record. We challenge the issues, ask the tough questions, and dig deeper. We bring in the experts, the decision makers, and the voices that matter. Our discussions shape policy, influence change, and inform the public like no other. Join us every Thursday at 8 p.m. and again on Sunday at 8:30 p.m. Catch us streaming live on Facebook or catch up with your favorite episodes on our YouTube channel. The conversations that shape the Bahamas start here, on the Record.
What do you get when you're searching for the whole truth?
Less than 24 hours after the body of 12-year-old was discovered on a track road on Faith Avenue, police say
You get the most comprehensive half hour of news.
Breach of the party's constitution. Behind me is what remains of the Victoria Court apartment complex.
Our News at 7 brings you that truth in all of the day's top stories, sports, and our view of the world. Join me, Candino Knowles, weeknights for Our News at 7. Stay with the team you already trust.
From 2017, one show has set the standard for current affairs in the Bahamas, and that's On the Record, one of the longest running current affairs shows on RTV. We've been the place where newsmakers come to talk. We've sat down with leaders in government, cultural icons, industry leaders, and international experts. From breaking news to in-depth analysis, our conversation sets the tone for the nation. We've tackled the biggest issues on the planet, held world leaders accountable, and given voice to the people. From politics to culture, business to the environment, no topic is off limits. Join us every Thursday at 8 p.m. and again on Sunday at 8:30 p.m. Catch us streaming live on Facebook or catch up with your favorite episodes on our YouTube channel. 9 seasons strong, and we're just getting started.
On this day in Bahamian history in 1826, poor Black Kate, who was an enslaved girl of the Moss Plantation on Crooked Island, was released. The Historical Society notes she was placed in the stocks as punishment for theft, insubordination, and insolence by Henry and Helen Moss. She was kept in the stocks for 17 days and was only let out to be whipped. As further punishment, she was sent to work in the cotton fields before she had fully recovered. She collapsed that morning after being beaten again for being unable to work and died a few hours later. Kate's owners were charged with 5 months in prison and a £300 fine. However, then Governor Grant tried to have it all remitted. Then fast forward to 1995. Troy Kemp won the gold medal in the men's high jump at the 5th World Championships in Athletics. The track and field competition was held in Gothenburg, Sweden by the International Association of Athletics Federations. Kemp won with a jump of 7 feet 9 inches, edging out Cuba's Javier Sotomayor by having fewer misses at that height. The gold medal was the Bahamas' first ever won at the IAAF World Championships. And finally, in 2016, Renward Wells became the leader of opposition business for the Free National Movement in the House of Assembly. The promotion came just days after Central Grand Bahama MP Nico Grant stepped down. Grant gave up his position as he and 6 other FNM members openly criticized then FNM leader Dr. Hubert Minnis. Wells, who was then MP for Bamboo Town, joined the FNM after leaving the PLP amid a $600 million controversy over a letter of intent with Stellar Waste to Energy. Earlier this week, we gave you exclusive highlights from the Rick Ross concert in Crown Haven, Abaco. Despite a power outage, hundreds packed top of the Bay Cafe to see the hip-hop legend take the stage, but it left many asking why host such a big concert in a small settlement, right? Danielle Miller, she has the story behind it.
Abaco, Bahamas. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Last night was amazing. The fireworks going off, the energy of the crowd, all the DJs, the big homies who put the event together. Salute.
That video of international hip-hop artist Rick Ross was posted to his social media page the day after his performance at Black Bottle Fest over the weekend. The hip-hop legend was the headliner for the Black Bottle Fest, hosted by Foreign Currency Promotions, marking the first time a major artist has ever performed in the small Abaco settlement. Foreign Currency executive Ramon Ramsey told Our News the decision to bring Ross to the area was intentional.
Brother being one of the natives in Abaco, from Abaco, northern Abaco that is, we thought that this would be a great incentive to motivate, influence, and empower the people of Abaco.
Ramsey said their vision is to shift the local concert culture, and it all began right here on Clifford Park with their first major event, Spilligate, headlined by the man known as the African giant, Burna Boy. Ramsey admitted they did have their challenges. However, it did not deter their mission, and their persistence continues to rally support.
As a result of that, we're backed by various investors who believe in us since that event. When we told them what we wanted to do, not just for the community, but just for Abacoans, they were more than willing to back us on that.
As for what artists the group will book next,
one can expect anything from Foreign Currency. There is no artist out there that's out there doing their thing, not just in the U.S., but in the world, that we don't plan to bring into our own native land.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Danielle Miller.
All right, thanks so much for that, Danielle. If you want to watch that story again and for all of today's top stories, remember you can visit ournews.bs. That's going to do it for us in News at 7. Up now, Megan Shepard. She's got the latest headlines. Happy Friday, Megan.
Happy Friday, the longest 4-day week ever. Happy Friday.
I just told Leslie at Master Control, Tuesday felt like the Monday-est of Mondays.
Absolutely, it
but
sure
hey,
was. We made it. We made it. You are free to go enjoy your weekend, Candino. And for you sticking with us, here's what's coming up at 7:30. An evening with Eddie Minnis set to hit TV screens tomorrow. Here are your latest headlines. First tonight, a former DNA candidate has been unanimously convicted by a jury of sexually abusing a teenage boy. We've got the details from the courtroom. Plus, equipment is on the way and ground is being prepared for solar panels. The energy minister gives an update on renewable energy efforts across the country. And wet weather expected throughout the weekend. Traffic officers are reminding motorists to slow down and drive with extra due care and attention during hazardous conditions. And later, his last stage performance was some 45 years ago in Grand Bahama. If you missed the musical icon that is Eddie Minnis, well, you've got a chance to see his most recent performance on a TV screen near you. We've got the details on these stories and so much more when our news continues in just a moment.
Things may be tough, but Wendy's got you covered. Grab a day single or chicken sandwich with a junior fries and 16-ounce beverage for just $6.95. Why choose less from the other guys when you can get more? At Wendy's, we're providing bigger bites and better deals. So purchase your Tings Tough Value Meal today. Now available at all locations excluding the airport and food truck.
Grand Bahama is home to a unique economic arrangement. with that arrangement between government and the Grand Bahama Port Authority under scrutiny as tensions persist.
It's not our direct responsibility to carry out these other things that people think we should be doing.
We need this to be dealt with quicker than quicker and sooner than sooner.
I have a vision for Grand Bahama, and my vision's actually bigger than my grandfather's ever was.
Watch City in Focus, the story of Freeport with Italia Hall, starting August 7th only on RTV.
Are you or a loved one under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies? Ports International is the largest home healthcare supplier. Medical supplies at the very best price, and you can even shop online. From hospital beds to wound care, wheelchairs to walkers, Ports is a one-stop shop for your medical supplies, and we accept insurance. We have online shopping and 2 locations to serve you, at the Airport Industrial Park and Shirley Street. We also ship to the Family Islands. Shop online and visit us on Facebook. Call Ports at 377.
Welcome to our news, and thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'm Megan Shepard. A jury has unanimously convicted a former politician of sexually abusing a teen boy. The accused has denied the allegations and is accusing police of tampering with evidence. We'll get to the disturbing details in just a bit, but we begin with a look at the tropics. We are keeping an eye out on the tropics as activity churns out in the Atlantic. This as we move into the peak of hurricane season. Over the weekend, a tropical storm Dexter formed off the Carolina coast and posed no threat, while forecasters have been watching 2 other systems on the radar, including one just off Florida. We are learning of more potential developments in the coming week, and meteorologist Greg Thompson tells us the tropics are indeed very active at the moment. He's standing by in the Weather Center with more on what's happening and what we could possibly expect in the coming days.
Yeah, thanks, Megan. It is getting a little active across the tropics. We are monitoring several areas out there. 2 just to the north of the Bahamas and west of us, August 7th through 9th, which is this weekend. That blob of showers and thunderstorms will have some potential for some tropical development. We'll continue to watch that. Should pull out towards the north and east and away from us. There's an area in the Gulf of Mexico the National Hurricane Center is watching as well. And then we have down in the eastern Atlantic, another area that the National Hurricane is giving a medium chance for formation, but that one will stay in the open Atlantic. It's the one just to the south. The disturbance is not there as yet. There's a strong tropical wave coming off of Africa. Show that in a short while. But the area just to the north of us that we continue to monitor, National Hurricane Center giving, as I mentioned, a low to medium chance for formation. It will pull out towards the north and away from us, but it will keep us in an unsettled weather pattern at least for another day before things start to clear out. And then, of course, up in the north and Atlantic, Dexter is basically pulling out towards the area and away from us. And then a close-up of that blob just off the Carolinas showing some disorganization, but it's trying to get its act together. And then, of course, in the far eastern Atlantic, the area that the National Hurricane Center giving a medium chance for formation, not showing much in terms of any real convection with it, but it has a medium chance. This is a system that we'll continue to monitor that's coming off of Africa. It has a week to form, or at least get its act together in the open Atlantic. Very warm waters out there, so we'll watch this one very closely. This is the time now we're urging you to get your hurricane plans together as we are approaching the peak of the hurricane season, which is late August into early September, and things are starting to ramp up in the open Atlantic. That's a quick check on the tropics. We'll take a look at your local forecast when we come back.
Alrighty, thanks for that, Greg. And just a reminder that things can change quickly this time of year, even without a direct threat. Now is a good time to make sure your hurricane plans are in place if you haven't done so already, as things are expected to continue to intensify over the next several weeks. Head over to ournews.bs to find the latest and watch Our TV's Storm Navigator if you need a little more help determining your plan. It's available now at the Our News YouTube channel. And as we told you at the top of news, a jury has unanimously convicted former DNA candidate Marlon Newton of sexually abusing a teenage boy. The jury was made up of 6 women, and 3 men. Marlon Newton has been remanded to prison pending the penalty phase of his trial, which begins on October 2nd. Newton took the teen in after his mother put him out in March of 2019. The then 17-year-old said a friend introduced him to Newton, who ran a charity after no one else would help him. The witness said that he had consensual sex with Newton shortly after moving into his trailer home. The teen said he left after a month because Newton required sex in exchange for his board. But the teen was forced to reach out to Newton again in August 2019 after he fell out with his new roommate. This time, the teen said that Newton had sex with him against his will. Prosecutors said both acts were illegal as the teen couldn't give consent as a minor. For his part, Newton denied the allegations at his trial. He accused police of altering a video of a confrontation between him and his accuser. With the general election looming sometime next year, candidates have been positioning themselves in various constituencies throughout the country. The Free National Movement officially launched 17 candidates back in June with a promise to release more soon. Progressive Liberal Party Chairman Fred Mitchell has gone on record to say the governing PLP will begin the selection and ratification process in due course. And tonight, a member of Parliament for Golden Gates, Pia Glover Roll, hopes she's a part of that process, as she wants to continue the work she started. Her comments came on the sidelines of the first graduating cohort of maritime students at the Nassau Cruise Port this morning.
My constituents is how I became a cabinet minister. I would not be in this position today if I were not selected by them and elected by them. So they are my utmost priority. The needs, the concerns, the issues within the constituency are continual work in process. My hands are on the wheel. I don't intend to take them off. Of course, I'm looking forward to continuing to serve. We have been able to complete a number of initiatives in the Golden Gates constituency, but there's always more work to do, and I'm looking forward to continuing the work in partnership with the great people of Golden Gates.
Government officials say they're making big strides toward a cleaner, more reliable energy future. Energy and Transport Minister JoBeth Colby-Davis telling reporters today government is advancing steadily on its renewable energy plans across the Bahamas. Power purchase agreements have been signed for several family islands, and vendors are finalizing environmental approvals to begin solar projects. In New Providence, some sites have already been cleared, and the necessary permits and equipment orders are underway. Colby-Davis provided this update.
Our vendors are now going through the environmental process, making sure the land is signed off by the DEPP and they get their certificate of clearance so that they can begin the work of preparing the grounds for solar panels. So in New Providence, I believe that one of the areas have already been cleared and they're working closely to get their certificate of clearance from the DEPP, and the Family Island vendors have been working on getting all of their environmental reports completed for them to finalize, and it's just the environmental portion of it now before they can really see much of the work started.
Colby-Davis also emphasizing government's commitment to training and capacity building within the Ministry of Energy, as well as at Bahamas Power and Light.
We know that there's a lot of advanced technology, and so we're looking at ways that we can incorporate more training into not only Bahamas Power and Light, but now that we have the Ministry of Energy, that we can incorporate more training within, build capacity within the ministry, and so that we can be able to be a part of research and advanced technology so that we can continue to look forward to incorporating renewables throughout the Bahamas and lowering our dependence on fossil fuels.
24 apprentices make up the first maritime cohort to advance to the next step in the National Apprentice Pilot Program. Its aim to train Bahamians ages 18 to 40 to learn and develop skills, in turn creating and improving employability for Bahamians while increasing access to quality jobs. Our news caught up with some of them today at the Nassau Cruise Port, where they received awards and certificates for their efforts over the year-long program.
I had an interest in maritime from when I was in high school, went to CV battle, and I actually studied marine biology. So when I saw the opportunity, just signed up. So the program opened up a lot of doors, a lot of opportunities for the maritime field, specifically LJM Academy, different things, places like Synergy. So the opportunity.
Well, I'm very proud of myself. I wasn't sure that I could do it, but I had previous experience with computer skills. And I studied for it, I practiced, and I made it on top. I'm very happy about it. I was very excited.
The program's executive director, Michelle Malcolm, who is responsible for putting the program together, says the results of the training carried out by LJM Maritime Academy is proof of what young Bahamian professionals are capable of. She tells us what's next for the young Bahamians.
We begin interviews with employer partners as early as next week, and the idea is that by the end of the month, early September, they will all be placed on real jobs. They will continue their training at the LJM Maritime Academy at the same time. So 80% of the time will be spent on the job, 20% will be spent actually continuing their training with LJ Maritime Academy.
A video making its rounds on social media today of what appears to be a multi-vehicle collision on Coral Harbor Road near the airport. We spoke to officers of the traffic division at a local health fair, but officials could not confirm if the details in the video were recent. However, Inspector Jerome Thompson did note that traffic accidents on that road are not uncommon during severe weather, as visibility becomes a challenge. Sergeant Roberto Brown echoing those sentiments. He shared these tips in the event you experience a fogged windshield during inclement weather.
Well, first of all, we should pay attention to our surroundings. To drive at an adequate speed, make sure your hazard lights are on, make sure your windows are clear. That's make sure you have visibility. Make sure the windshield, it gets foggy when it rains. Make sure you have a towel on hand or use a defogger.
Now, Sergeant Brown adds that if you do not have a defogger and have to manually clean your windshield with a towel, cautiously pull to the side. He's also reminding motorists to slow down.
Go as slow as you feel. So if it's 10 miles per hour, once you make it a journey properly and you can see clearly, go as slow as possible. Just make sure you get there in peace.
All right, well, we've still got lots more news to share with you tonight, but first, very rainy way to start the weekend. Could we see more showers throughout the weekend? Meteorologist Greg Thompson joins us for your first look at temperatures. Greg, what's it looking like?
Yeah, thanks, Megan. Welcome back, everybody, for a quick check on conditions around the islands and outside our studios. 80 degrees is our current temperature under mostly cloudy skies. We do have some light rain out there. Your winds out of the southeast at 9 miles per hour, but your feels-like temperature is a very comfortable 85 degrees. Satellite radar composite. Unsettled weather pattern across the northwest Bahamas, lots of showers, thunderstorms, as well as some cloud mass. And that will continue to be the pattern throughout the rest of the evening and into tonight. We expect this pattern to actually stay with us in the northwest Bahamas tomorrow as an upper level low and a surface trough slowly drifts towards the west. Behind that, high pressure system will be dominating the southeast and central Bahamas, but we are looking for some improving conditions by Sunday. That's a quick check on conditions around the islands. Stick with us, look at the tropics, and your extended forecast is still to come.
When our news comes back from the break, retired from the sector but not from the passion of serving. The Grand Bahama Health Services Retirees Alliance gearing up to celebrate 1 year with a slew of voluntary initiatives. And later, a Bahamian musical icon hits the stage after a 45-year hiatus. If you missed it in person, Cable Bahamas has got you covered with a rebroadcast this weekend. Those stories coming up when our news returns.
Are you or a loved one under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies? Ports International is the largest home healthcare supplier. Medical supplies at the very best price. And you can even shop online. From hospital beds to wound care, wheelchairs to walkers, Ports is a one-stop shop for your medical supplies, and we accept insurance. We have online shopping and 2 locations to serve you. At the Airport Industrial Park and Shirley Street. We also ship to the Family Islands. Shop online and visit us on Facebook. Call Ports at 377-1771.
At Struckham, we're all about peace of mind. With the latest tools and technology like PestPack, managing pest control just got easier. It's simple. Log on to the portal to review past services or monitor trends. Just tap Service Reports to access detailed records and see how we're keeping your business pest-free. You can even customize permissions so your teams in maintenance and health and safety have real-time access to everything they need. With PestPack, you're in control, anytime, anywhere. Get ready to simplify pest management with just a few taps.
The Grand Bahama Health Services Retirees Alliance is preparing to celebrate 1 year since becoming a constitutionally bound organization made up of a cross-section of professional disciplines and skills. Tonight, the retirees say they are committed to continuing to offer their service to the healthcare system in the North. Retired healthcare professionals in the North coming together to continue to provide quality healthcare to patients and assistance to those in the field. President of the Grand Bahama Health Services Retirees Alliance, Valeria Burrows, says, although retired, they believe there is still much more to give. She says they plan to offer soft skills and professional support where and when necessary.
Providing his holistic support to our infirmed members so that their socio-economic and spiritual needs are facilitated. Consistent and meaningful dialogue with the Bahamas government to address socio-economic issues that may adversely impact the Grand Bahama Health Services retirees.
Vice President of the Retirees Alliance, Reverend Sherilyn Bain, says they still have a wealth of knowledge to pass on thanks to countless decades of combined experience. She says the intent is to increase their volunteer services as they enter their second year. One of their initiatives is establishing a help desk.
Oftentimes, persons need knowledge, and they need knowledge so that they can navigate the system in a professional manner. So that you will see very soon at the Grand Bahama Health Services, and also to relieve some of the now employees or to assist them in their daily work. Not taking over, but we're going to work along with them.
The Alliance is also looking forward to offering assistance within the busy hospital and local clinics.
We can inform patients as what they expect when they're going to be admitted. We can also conversate with family members in terms of allaying some of those fears. Again, I say not taking away the role of the doctors or the nurses, but working alongside of them so that they themselves could feel more confidence in what they are doing, and also to relieve them of any physical or mental strain.
And if you're a retiree with a green thumb, Trustee Alexander Burrows is inviting you to help in establishing a garden at the Rands Memorial Hospital.
We have a lot of waste land there that we could plant some cabbages, potatoes, oranges, etc., for the holisticness of the patient, and by extension, the staff who work there also.
Coming up in sports, the Davis Cup team moves on to the playoffs. Travis Munnings heads to one of the top leagues in the world. Dayton Albury hosts his first camp, and your 10YS Plays of the Week.
In the Bahamas, island time is real. The history of Morris Lumber Company, established in 1945, is etched into the fabric of this proud island nation. It's a story that deserves to be celebrated in full color, and that's where we come in. Morris the Paint Place has been bringing color and vitality to homes and businesses across the Bahamas. Here, color is more than just a hue, it's a symbol of life. Together, we can paint a brighter future.
Whether you're battling a chronic condition or offsetting a new injury, Doctors Hospital's comprehensive rehab services offer the help you need now.
Go to doctors.
3 advanced facilities at Collins Avenue, Carmichael Road, in Cable Beach means your personalized plan for care is just a visit away. From physiotherapy to occupational therapy and speech and language pathology, our team approach is all about rebuilding together. For a full list of services, visit doctorshosp.com/rehabilitation. Doctors Hospital, trusted and best care now. Isn't your health worth it?
Welcome to Our Sports, presented by 10th Year Seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. That's John Mark Nutt. Let's do show. Team Bahamas is moving on at the Davis Cup. After 4 wins and 4 ties, the Bahamas has advanced to the promotion playoffs in America's Zone Group 4. They emerged as the top team from Pool B with a final 3-0 win over Panama. In the opening match, Dante Armbrister made it 3 straight singles victories. He took the first set 6-1 before his opponent, Valdez, retired early in the second. Denali Nottage followed with a dominant 6-love win to clinch the tie. In doubles, Captain John Antonis teamed up Nottage and Kofi Bow for a straight sets win, securing the 3-0 sweep. The Bahamas defeated Cuba, Antigua and Barbuda, Suriname, and Panama in the group stage and now move on to tomorrow's playoffs.
Travis Munning takes his talents to Spain's top tier. The veteran forward has officially signed with Corvian Granada in the Liga Endesa, Spain's premier professional basketball league. The move marks a major step up for Munnings, who spent last season with Flexicar Fuenlabrada in the second division. He averaged nearly 9 points per game, added 4 rebounds, and shot an impressive 45% from beyond the arc. Munnings, who now joins one of Europe's most competitive domestic leagues, has also played professionally in France and Portugal.
Dayton Albury made the first step of what he hopes to be a lasting legacy to build future generations of Bahamian hoopers. The New Mexico guard hosted the first edition of his Ballhead Elite basketball camp at the Kendall Isaacs Gymnasium. Several collegiate and professional players were on hand to facilitate the camp, where dozens of participants went through skill-building drills and mentorship. Albury's goal is to create a mobile app where players can track progress after the camp and stay connected all season long. It's Friday, 1 week down in August. Everyone's good, right? Well, football's back, so yeah, everyone's good. Here's top plays. At 5, let's get started at B3A's Nationals. This is the one everyone wanted to see. The King and Queen made their return to the track. Appreciate greatness while it's here. You'll miss it when it's gone.
At number 4, it feels good to be home. Frederick King showed out at the Bahamas Hoop Summer League. This is a big season here. We're locked into Murray State basketball.
At number 3, back to Nationals, we have 3 Olympians in one race. Smarter people than me need to figure out how we can get the shuttle hurdles relay into the Olympics. They had breakdancing.
At number 2, this was an insane week for Deshaun Knowles. A 2-home run game, a walk-off bunt, and a night when he went 4 for 4.
And at number 1, you can tell Nationals was a really big deal this week. You know how they say don't quit your day job? Well, Kywin Culmer didn't, and he still made the World Championship team. 17.29, he's headed to Tokyo. That'll do it for our sports. This is 10YS. We had a lot going on this week. You think we could get away with the whole newscast just doing top plays?
I believe we can. 10YS top 10 plays.
Can we? Back to the studio. No, I'm seriously asking, can we?
Still to come, Greg is back in the Weather Center with a complete look at temperatures across the country. Plus, Michael Sweet Bells Thompson weighs in on the Bahamian and Los Angeles Lakers connection. We'll tell you what he has to say about DeAndre Ayton joining the team. Stick with us.
Dealing with how life was in the Bahamas in the past, what has changed, and what still remains the same. I'll be taking them down, I hope, not memory lane, but memory avenue. There's a big area we're going to be covering.
Nassau, get ready for a night you simply won't want to miss. For the first time in over 40 years, experience an evening with Eddie Menace live at the Amphitheater, Nassau Cruiseport.
Greg Thompson here, and thank you for watching. Be sure to hit that follow button. And if you want to see more content like this, follow all of our news social media pages. And hey, don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss out on the top stories from the team you already trust.
More than 20 years in the making and still growing. Everywhere you turn, our news is there. From Charybdis to Karakomanchogam, the commendation of a queen, the coronation of a king, the controversies.
This is our news. Welcome back. Things are ramping up in the tropics. We have quite a few areas that we're going to continue to monitor over the next couple of days. National Hurricane Center watching these areas rather closely. One just to the north of the Bahamas that has a potential for some low to medium potential actually for some tropical development, but it's going to continue to pull towards the north and away from us. There's an area in the Gulf of Mexico the National Hurricane Center is also watching that has a low chance for some formation. And then we have the area in the open Atlantic that National Hurricane Center is actually watching. There is a tropical disturbance out there, not really getting its act together as yet, but it's actually expected to get its act together in the next couple of days as it tracks towards the northwest. It's actually going to stay out there in the open Atlantic, but the system or the area just to the south of that National Hurricane Center will watch that over the next week, as we do expect a strong tropical wave to move off the African coast by the weekend. Taking a look at the satellite, Dexter, which we were tracking for the last couple of days, basically is extratropical. It's moving, racing off towards the north and east. Then we have that area just off the Carolinas, just north of the Bahamas, National Hurricane Center, watching that for some potential development. But as I mentioned, will be moving away from us in the Gulf of Mexico, the one in the Gulf, not really showing any signs of development as we speak. And then further east into the open Atlantic, National Hurricane Center, the one in central Atlantic, they're giving that a medium potential for some formation, but it's actually going to stay out there in the open Atlantic, tracking towards the west and then move towards the north. But a very strong tropical wave will be coming off the African coast this weekend. We will watch that one very closely as the National Hurricane Center is going to continue to watch for some formation during the next week. Some of the models are continuing to keep the system pulling well towards the west, so it's going to get really close to the islands, and we will watch this one very closely as it has the potential to even just clip just to the east of the Bahamas. Taking a look at the future forecast, that area of disturbed weather that we've been having to deal with for the last couple of days, basically dropped quite a bit of rainfall across our area. That will continue to track towards the west and in the Gulf of Mexico. And actually, this is the system that the National Hurricane Center will be monitoring for some future development. But by Saturday into Sunday, we expect clearing, as we do have some spotty showers expected as that system pulls away from us. Boating forecast for all areas tonight to tomorrow, your winds will be east to southeast at 10 to 15 knots. They will fall light and variable at times. Seas running 2 to 4 feet over open waters. High tide is at 8:10 tonight. The low tide takes place at 2:36 in the morning. Here's a look now at your national forecast. In the extended forecast, we'll keep the showers in the forecast on Saturday as that disturbance stays just to the west of us. But by Sunday, we expect clearing conditions. So next week looks pretty nice. Temperatures will be back near the 90-degree mark, and those feels-like temperatures will be near the triple digits. But of course, as I mentioned, we are reaching or approaching the peak of the Atlantic hurricane season, urging you to get your hurricane plans in order as we have a potential system that we will continue to monitor over the next couple of days. That's a look at our weather. Make it a safe night. Have a great weekend, everybody.
All right, thanks, Greg. Well, did you know that the first foreign-born basketball player to get drafted #1 overall to the NBA was Bahamian Michael Sweetbelts Thompson? He was drafted first overall to the Portland Trail Blazers in 1978. The center won 2 championships with the Los Angeles Lakers in 1987 and 1988, alongside basketball legend Mike Magic Johnson. And now he currently works for the team as a radio color commentator. Sweetbelts has guided generations of basketball players for 3 decades at the Jeff Rogers basketball camp, including new Lakers center DeAndre Ayton. Thompson had this to say to the young center following his footsteps.
DeAndre should understand the responsibility he has now. He's a Bahamian, played for the Bahamas' favorite team, the LA Lakers. And I told people in LA, every time the Lakers have a Bahamian on their team, they win a championship. Rick Fox won it. They won it with me. And now with DeAndre Ayton, who has a lot of talent, who could be one of the best centers in the game, he plays up to his potential. I think he's going to represent the Bahamas well and lead the Lakers to be a very serious championship contender for years to come.
Well, the one thing Michael Thompson was not able to do for Bahamian basketball was play for the national team, something his son Michael Thompson has been an integral part of. Michael Thompson played professionally for 6 years and has been an integral part of the Bahamas national team as both a player and a coach. He spoke about the importance of representing the country of his father's birth.
It means a lot, especially because my dad never got to play for the national team, so being able to put on that jersey, represent the colors, have my family back here, being able to watch, just means a lot because Bahamians have a lot of pride, and when especially the level we've gotten to, it's been really good, and the support's been there. So just being able to put on for the country, because Bahamas hasn't, basketball-wise, had a lot of success. So the amount of work we've been putting in the last couple of years, it feels really good to see how far we've come.
Well, last October, both Bahamians and tourists alike were treated to a once-in-a-lifetime performance at the Nassau Cruiseport Amphitheater dubbed An Evening with Eddie Minnis. The show was Minnis' first performance in 45 years, with his last performance taking place in 1979 in Grand Bahama. He was backed by fellow music icon Fred Ferguson. Nassau Cruiseport consultant Ed Fields was a producer on the show that also featured Fanshawn and Gino D, backed by Iris Storr. He spoke to us about the challenge of attracting an audience to a fully Bahamian show.
Not to say that they don't draw, but certainly it's more difficult than, say, an international act. And again, not because of the quality of the acts, but because of overexposure. You see the acts quite a bit. And so it was a challenge of mine and the port to find artists that were not as overexposed. And there are very few of them. And two that immediately comes to mind were Phil Stubbs and Eddie Minnis.
In a partnership with Zaymar, Cable Bahamas joined on as a sponsor to record this performance, which everyone can watch tomorrow, Saturday, August 9th, right here on our TV channel 212. Field says in his experience, last-minute ticket sales is the most nerve-wracking part of putting on an event of this scale. But that wasn't the case when it came to this show.
Not only did we have just a surge in ticket sales, what I was really overwhelmed with at the concert was the range of demographic that I can say that I've never seen in all my life, the range of persons who supported that concert. There were people who had not been on Bay Street probably for 30 or 30 years, okay? There were people with walkers and wheelchairs. There was white, there was black, there was young, there was old, there was, just the full range of the Bahamian community.
Definitely sounds like an amazing event. And with that, we thank you so much for joining us for Our News Tonight. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Megan Shepherd. We'll see you right back here tomorrow night for Our News Weekend with Jerome Sawyer. Have a safe and wonderful evening. Hey guys, Megan Shepherd here. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to hit that follow button if you'd like to see more content like this. Follow all of the Our News social media pages so you never miss out on the top stories from the team you already trust.